What's going on, YouTube? Let's take a look at this beautiful modified it is modified. It states that it's modified. It is a tuned .21 Novorossi engine, Elasi tuned by Daniel Elasi. We're going to get into it. I'm going to show you all the specs on this, a little backstory on you know, the making of it and things like that, and then we're going to put it back together. We're going to put it back in the MB, not put it back, we're going to put it in the MB 48.4. We're going to couple it up with a nice pipe, and we're going to take it out and we're going to run it. So we're going to see what it's all about. I have broken this engine in. It's got about 2 quarts of Bones Brew 3010 through it, and we'll take a look at everything and see what it looks like, and then we're going to take it out and we're going to run it. So I want to try and run it a little bit more, maybe another quart through it or so, and then we're going to put it on the pavement and see what it can do. So give me a few minutes here. I got some other things I want to go over with you guys. I want to show you all something having to do here with the Pico. I've got a few Pico engines here that I'd like to look at as well. So, but the one that I'm going to show y'all is the Pico Boost .28. So give me a few minutes, guys, and we will be back here in just a second. All right, so while we're here, I want to show y'all something real quick. Thought it was pretty interesting. I have a Pico .28 Pico Boost that was modified by PS Mods, Power Secrets mod. We were running it pretty hard, man. Probably a little bit lean, you know. I'll still learn how to tune things like that. But basically what we got here is Pico Boost .28 sleeve right here. I do have it marked right there, so I know how it goes back together. But basically this thing ripped in half inside the sleeve while I was running it. It was still running too. It's the craziest thing I ever seen in my life, man. But there, that's why I got it marked, so I can put it back. It goes back together perfectly, just like that. But I've never seen anything like that. I mean, this was a highly modified sleeve from Power Secrets. Craziest thing I ever seen, man. I just hold on to it for shits and giggles. Here is the original, it's still good, the original piston from the Pico Boost .28. This is what I replaced it with. It's the same piston, piston and sleeve. That was the part number for it, 51547 OFNA. Had a hard time finding this. I actually ordered this from Australia a couple of years ago. So the Pico Boost has a brand new piston and sleeve, and there were really no internal damages from this. Immediately once I saw the difference in the performance, it richened out really fast and it was running erratic. That's when I brought it in and I tore it down, and oh, that's not it. That's when I brought it no, it ain't that one. That's when I brought it in and I tore it down and I found this, and I was like, holy crap, man, that's crazy. Anyway, all right, so basically what we have here is an engine that was designed by IFMAR World Champion Daniel Elasi, or Lelasi, or however you say his name, Elasi, Lelasi, whatever the case may be. But each engine was hand built and modified by Daniel himself in Italy using genuine Novorossi parts. He's doing them for OS now, or he was doing them for OS now, but it says that they changed it with a completely new design and a new cooling head for the new powerful 7T WC Hummer. The modified engine says it will come with a ceramic rear bearing and a steel front bearing, which we know that. It says, as this engine comes factory tuned, we have modified the crankshaft, 14.5 millimeter crankshaft, to further improve the power and output and drivability. So they have modded this crank as well. I'm assuming some of the cuts here on the edge and your little valley cuts right there, your shark fin. I don't know about the crank timing window. I don't see anything, but if it was modified prior to being DLC coded, you wouldn't see anything. So I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. So it is a modified crank. Has a plastic carburetor, we know that, 3.5 cc with a 9mm 3.5 cc, and I guess the opening is 9mm. So using a 9mm Venturi is fine, or you can reduce it down to 6mm with the Venturi. So you can go from 9 to 6, anywhere in between 8, 7.5, 7.5, 7, whatever the case may be. They do say that we can assure you with the Le Lassi tuned engine line made by Novorossi that there will be no difference between factory drivers and non-factory drivers. There will be no pinned crankcase, end caps, and no modifications. Basically no difference between whatever the factory back driver will use and the non-factory driver that will buy off the hobby shop shelf. The brand is made in Italy, so all these were made in Italy. Designed and developed by Daniel Le Lassi, or Elassi, or however you say it. Modified, selected, and prepared by hand with high quality and checked by specific precise measurement tools. IDT .21-7T WC Hummer buggy engine. Tech specs: 3.9 cc, 3.49 cc, sleeve, 7T ports, DLC crankshaft, 4.5mm turbo tuned. They call it turbo tuned. New conrod, says R7 conrod, but I see an R4 conrod on here. Not sure what's up with that. Front bearing steel, rear bearing ceramic, weight 370 grams. Bore X stroke, I guess done in millimeters. RPM max power 38,500 RPMs for the 7-port engine. So definitely, when I go out there and test and push these engines to the limit, I'm going to use this ECRM end bleed pipe. It's a badass pipe. I can't wait to get my second one, and they're just really great, especially for us when we're bashers trying to push the limits of something in an off-road buggy, in an on-road situation. But you know, it's all part of the hobby. It's all fun. There's nothing serious about it, or you know, nothing that anybody should get upset with. I've had people say, well, I don't know about you running around a pro race kit around a car park, and well, I mean, I bought it, I can do whatever I want with it, right? So and I'm just having a good time. So I appreciate y'all, but just have fun in the hobby, man. There's no specific thing. I mean, if I want to run an on-road and an off-road and vice versa, whatever, right? Let's do it, and let's take a look at it, okay? All right, let's start out by checking the head shims. I don't have to check them, they're already there. The only thing on the paperwork is a 0.85 shim stack is what we got here. 3 shims, 1 aluminum, 2 copper. That one's real thick. Alright, very nice. There's your front of it. Let's go with the crank first. Beautiful crank right there. Does have a slug. Filled. Okay. Next, head button. Really nice head button. Again, it has had a couple of quarts through it already. Little caramelization in there. They all have code numbers on them. I guess they're part numbers. That's pretty cool. Alright, and we'll be running a OS-P3 gold plug there. Alright, here is our piston. It's a really nice piston, man. It's not cast, like Texas Hill Country was talking about, that one he had. This is definitely machined and very quality, very nice. It's a R4 number 18 Conrod with a Team Edition domed piston. Again, a little caramelization on there. Alright, and let's look at the back plate. Back plate has the insert in it, recessed for the skirt. Remember, the skirt always goes towards the rear of the engine, people. It's a really nice back plate. Alright, let's take a look at this 7-port sleeve right here. Again, really nice. A lot of port work, man. Crazy port work on this thing. Look at that. Look at all that cutout in there. And then here on the intake port, it's got 3 fangs. You got your Schnurly ports, 2 Schnurly ports there. There's a lot of work on this sleeve. Really nice. Oh, and this one has like the double rim top on the sleeve. The Corsa-Tech that we did the other day, King's RC, you were right, there was a very small, very thin aluminum washer in between the block and the bottom side of the sleeve there. So basically same as this one. It's set down in there and had a little notch where the pin is, and then the sleeve goes over it. So you got to be real careful and make sure that bottom one is in there real good. So four shims on the Corsa-Tech. Yeah, and I knew that from the first time I took it apart, but I had just forgotten about it. So here's your head. I didn't flip this when I ran it the first time in the video after I broke it in, but somehow or another I got like a little smudge there on the top where the H is, but really nice. And I'm going to give you all the specs on this and kind of a backstory on this engine. I'm not sure what Novorossi engine this is, maybe a keep off or a rolling or something. I think the rolling is a 7-port. That might be what the base of this Novorossi engine is. It is countersunk, so low LCG on that. And then the block itself, this carburetor is it's a 2-needle carburetor. Again, this is the same carburetor that we ran on the Virtus the other day. And so the reason I keep reaching around tapping the back of the GoPro is to keep the front screen going so I can see too. But anyway, that is your high-speed needle coming out the side right here. And of course your low speed. So I didn't change any of these needles. It was running very well on the 7-port Virtus. So we'll see where the tune is. I haven't changed any needles, and that Virtus was running great. So I'm not going to change anything. We'll warm it up. We'll fire it up out there with these exact settings on there. But ceramic bearings here. Again, I run about 2 quarts in here, a quart of break-in and then a quart on the ground, or maybe a quart and a half at break-in, half a quart on the ground. But I put it on the shelf, and that has got to have been at least a year ago, man. There's no corrosion, no buildup. That was that Bones Brew. So beautiful block, man. Look at that. This all reminds me of the Corsa-Tech 2 right here, the way this is all machined and milled out. There you go. There's your block, ceramic rear, and steel front bearing. Man, it looks really nice. Very well made. Alright, so there you go. Let's go over some specs on this thing. It did come with an exploded view here. We'll take a look at it, and it's both in Italian. On the back's really cool because it's got your carburetor settings and all that, your base settings. It's in Italian and English as well, so that's pretty cool. Gives you your base settings. I mean, we're way different than the base settings on this right now, so we've got it leaned out pretty well, but not too much. So again, we'll see how those that carburetor tunes on those settings. But yeah, definitely your exploded view here. The shims on this one are a let's see, a .30, a .15, a .10, and a .30. So should be 4 shims. 2 of them stuck together. Might have 2 of them stuck together right here. Let's look. It's showing 4, unless there's one in the box. There might be one in the box, because I'm not seeing. You don't want to bend these shims. Yeah, I'm only seeing 3. The aluminum one, feels really thick, the aluminum one though. Yeah, so there it shows 4 shims, but there's definitely only 3. Oh, no, there's 4. I found it. Whoop! Another aluminum one. There we go. Alright then, bet. It's hard to tell sometimes, man. Yep, there are 4, so another good reason you have your exploded views here. So, yep, there's your shim stacks. Got your carburetor breakdown on there. Got your Venturis that it comes with. So we're going to be running a 9mm Venturi right there. That's what we're going to run in here. I usually always run a 9. I don't want any restriction in that carburetor. Looks like there is some optional shims on here as well. 0.20mm and a 0.25mm optional shims. There's your ceramic rear bearing part number. And yep, there you go. Looks pretty good. They say use a CT06, but we're not. We're going to use a P. All right, people, had to switch over to my phone real quick. It's actually another day, man. But I hope y'all enjoyed that, checking out this Hummer, this Daniel Ilassi tuned Hummer Navarossi engine. There she is. She's all set up in the Tekno, my test vehicle, my test and tune vehicle. So look for this pretty soon. I appreciate y'all. Have a great weekend, the rest of your week. Remember, treat people the way you want to be treated. We'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.